Hey guys, you're back at the Gumboot garden today, and I was just going through some of my seeds because I'm doing some autumn planting, and it had me thinking about old seeds and what we should be doing with all of our old seed packets. Now, when you buy seeds, if you're a smaller gardener like myself, then you might buy a packet, but you're not going to get through the whole packet in the very first year that you're planting. And if you have a look at some of your seedlings, they have expiration dates on them. Let's see if I have one out here. On my fennel packet that I'm going to be sowing, you might be able to see here, right up in this corner here, it actually has a date, and it says sow before August of 2026. Now, we're just in 2024 now, so I do have a couple more years. But you know, if I don't end up sowing all of these seeds, what am I supposed to do with them? So there are a couple things that you can do with a seed packet that might have like 200 or more seeds in them when you're not going to use them before that expiration date. So the first thing that you could do is just save them for future years, until, we have till 2026. The next thing is that maybe you're going to get this seed packet or a bunch of seed packets with a friend and split them all up. Another thing you can do is go to a seed swap and swap some of these extra seeds for something else that you might not already have. But what if the time comes and it's, 2027 and we still have some of these seeds left? Well, the good news is that this date is not actually an expiration date for the seeds. It's more of a sell-by date for the seed company. So if you have packets that are expired, do not throw them away. Make sure you still try and grow them. Now, it is true that as seeds get older, they don't have as good of germination rates as they once did when you first bought them. So when you buy them, seeds are usually quite high, close to perfect with their germination rates. But as time goes on, they grow a little bit older, their germinations kind of go down a little bit. Some seeds faster than others, so things like your leeks and your onions, they will lose their goodness, their germination rates quicker than others. But things like tomatoes, there are stories of people planting tomatoes decades and decades after they were originally first saved, and they're able to grow them and bring back those heirloom varieties that we hadn't seen in a long time. So if you have these seeds, you might start with something that's close to 100% germination rate. After a couple years, and they might go down to like 75% germination rate, but that's still really good. That's still 3 out of 4 seeds will still grow into a plant. Now, the main thing in order to keep your germination rates as high as you possibly can is to make sure you're storing all of your seeds properly. So ideally, you'd want to store them in a place where the temperature is 59 degrees Fahrenheit or lower, and the humidity rate is around 30%. Now, we're just at home, and I'm sure we don't track these things. We might track the temperature a little bit more than the humidity, just because we don't want to be too hot or too cold, but it's not something that we're going to keep a really close eye on. So sometimes it can be a bit difficult to keep the perfect and ideal conditions for your seeds. But the good news is they still do quite well. So I actually have all of my seeds in one of these photo containers where they can kind of keep dry. They're not going to really get the moisture because they're in their seed packets. Then they're in each of these plastic photo containers. And then each of these photo containers are then kept in this big plastic container. And then I keep that in my closet under a few things so it's not seeing any sunlight. It's staying pretty cool throughout the year, even on those hot days. And the humidity level, well, hopefully it's all right. But I've had a lot of these seeds for 2-3 years, and I'm still getting a really good germination rates even on those older seed packets. So you should have pretty good luck. The one thing I did see about seeds is that even if you're not able to keep them in below 59 degrees Fahrenheit, if they are maybe in like 60 or 70 degrees, it's better to keep them at a steady temperature rather than fluctuating from really cold to really hot. That can kind of sway things a little bit more where their germination rates might lower a bit rather than just keeping them at a stable temperature. I just plan on storing mine for short term. You know, over the couple years, I plan on sowing all of them in the packet. However, if I were to want to save seeds more long term, then you might want to think about storing them in a freezer. So you can save your seeds, put them in a Ziploc baggie or something that's airtight, and just put them in the freezer, and they should stay good for a very, very long time, and their germination rates should be spot on to what they need to be. But whatever you decide, don't throw them away, because a chance not taking and growing them is a plant that you can't harvest from. So none of us want that. So go ahead, get those old seeds in the ground and see what you can harvest. I'll catch you in the next one tomorrow, guys. See ya.